Okay. What number were you thinking of?
Bacon! Bacon is my podcast! Bacon! Bacon! Bacon is my... Bacon! Bacon is my podcast! Bacon! Bacon is my...
Welcome, everybody, to Bacon is My Podcast. The show today is brought to you by our friends at Poddex, our friends at GrillYourAssOff.com, and our friends at WildBillSoda.com. Use the promo code BACON to get 10% off your order at any one of those fun places.
Yes!
Yeah.
It's also brought to us by Manscaped.
Balls.
Duck your head.
Duck it.
Manscaped. You can get it back up again.
Okay.
Use the promo code BACONPOD. Get 20% off and get free shipping. Keep those marbles shiny.
We say balls.
We say balls. So, today is our 100th episode.
Yeah. We didn't realize it until, honestly, right before we were going in to tape it.
Yeah.
But, yeah, our 100th episode. We're 100 of these.
Yeah.
That's crazy talk.
It's a lot of them.
That's way more than music that we've put out.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That's nuts.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because we've both been putting music out for like a decade.
Yes.
Or more.
More, yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
This has been a year.
This has been a year, and we're already a year and a half.
Year and a half.
Yeah.
Thank you guys. The only reason that we put out 100 of these, honestly, is because people have been listening, and we were like, oh, cool. People are listening.
Yeah.
People like it. So thank you guys for being a part of 100 episodes of Bacon is My Podcast. You guys absolutely rule. Thank you to our patrons over at patreon.com. They help a huge amount. If you're interested in checking that out, patreon.com/baconismypodcast. We got all kind of extra shows, extra
Early access,
commercial free. We do live streams, all that kind of fun stuff. We're actually doing a live stream cheers for our 100th show, and it's a good time.
Yeah, absolutely. Today we've got a really cool guy.
Yeah.
Really fun. Might be Jim's,
Doppelganger.
doppelganger.
It's weird.
Yeah.
Very weird. Yeah, we very similar life experiences with Bradley Scott, the singer of Emarosa. Weirdly similar.
Yeah.
You know, like Indiana, high school wrestlers, join bands, bartenders, teach music, like many
Lots of things.
parallels. So it was really cool to kind of like.
And you both appreciate bacon.
Yes, we both appreciate bacon. I can still eat it. He does not. We talk about that and a lot of stuff. So
Yeah.
it's a fun conversation. It's a cool one. He's a super cool dude. So I think you guys are going to enjoy it. I think you're going to dig it. I think you're going to like him.
I agree.
And I also think you're going to like Emarosa. If the people that I think are listening to this right now, check out Emarosa because you're going to like them. And if you're like, is he talking about me? Yes. Talking about you.
So we should do that.
Yeah.
Right now.
This episode of Bacon is My Podcast is brought to you by DrinkWildBills.com and GrillYourAssOff.com. Use promo code BACON to get 10% off your entire order.
Yeah. Grilling season is never over. And you always want to quench your thirst, and why not do it with some craft-made beverages by Wild Bills.
The two work together pretty awesome.
Yeah, agreed. So go ahead, hit them up, check it out. It helps them, which are awesome companies, and it helps us.
It helps us, and it helps you.
And it helps you to
because you like
live a more flavorful life.
You like delicious things in your mouth.
Indeed. So go do it now.
Do it.
Hi, I'm AJ from Werewolves, and you've been consuming Bacon is My Podcast.
All right.
He's going to bring us into this with his sultry voice.
Well, you just interrupted me. I had it ready to go.
I'm sorry, go for it.
I'm already out of touch because we're not in our normal quarters.
Go ahead and start.
Hi.
You're going to be fine.
Welcome to Bacon is My Podcast.
Okay.
Jim just interrupted me.
Again.
He did.
And we're not in our normal quarters, so I'm off my game, I think. We're coming to you from Charlotte, North Carolina,
Indeed.
as opposed to the Danger Room in Long Island, New York.
Danger Room. I like
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Is that what it's named?
Sure.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
The Danger
I
Room.
mean, X-Men. Come on.
Oh, yeah.
Today on this very special 100th episode,
Yeah, we figured that out right before we got on.
we have the one and only Bradley Scott from the band Emarosa. What's going on, dude?
Hello. Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Of course,
Thanks for being
man.
here, man. Where are you coming to us from?
I live in Los Angeles,
Nice.
so that's where I'm coming to you from.
Excellent.
Sweet. Yeah, we're like even on the What's Your Bacon in 7 questions. You guys were already like hitting it off, like, oh, I know
Yeah.
his life.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a little weird.
Because basically, like before we do things, we always do research before.
Sure.
And I'm a listener of Lead Singer Syndrome, and I heard the episode with you on it already. And then
Yeah.
I went back and like last week and listened again, and I was like, wow, Indiana music teacher. Yeah, this is this guy right
Yeah.
here. So
Indiana music teacher, bartender,
Yeah.
like
all of
All right.
all of the things.
So
Drunken karaoke, all of it.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. I
All
mean,
the
yeah.
things. All the things.
but yeah,
This is great.
My mom loves how I sing. You know,
Oh, nice.
all the
That's the main one.
exactly.
His mom does not like how I sing though.
Okay. Well, you know,
Too
you
yelling
went.
at her.
She thinks I'm yelling at her.
Okay.
That's what she says. She's like, it's. I like him, but the music's heavy, and I feel like I'm being yelled at.
I've been there.
I'm like, all right, well,
Yeah.
I gotcha, mom.
But yeah, man. So are you still doing like the teaching stuff? And I do see that like even this week or a couple of weeks ago, you posted like, hey, I'm gonna write custom songs, so hit me up.
Yeah. So I still definitely still teach singing and songwriting. Usually throughout the day. I usually only keep about 20 to 25 students like a month because then I just get run too thin. Yeah. And so I do that, and then I do the custom songs, which I've been doing the custom songs for a while now, and I've probably done over 200 custom songs, and I really enjoy doing that as well because it's kind of like a different outlet to exercise, your songwriting muscles, and it's pretty cool. Like people come and they're like, oh, my dog passed away, or I'm in love with this girl, or this is for someone going through a hard time, and all of those, it's cool to kind of dive into their life and talk about it with them, and then hopefully create something that they're really into. I have a ton on my plate right now because, as you said, I just posted about it. But I do both of those, and helping songwrite. I songwrite a lot out here in LA with other artists, up and coming artists, or just get in rooms with people. And I do a lot of what's called like top lining, where that's like all melody and lyrics is kind of like my bag. So that's what a lot of my time is over the course of the pandemic is what I did a lot. I did a lot of that. Sure.
That's awesome. Like what is, because we write songs as well together, and like this all came together was because we were asked to write a song for a horror movie.
Oh, cool.
And
Yeah,
we did.
Sweet.
Yeah. We get in the room and he's like, I'm like, so when does this need to be done by? He's like, oh, we have to be recorded and done in 2 weeks. And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
What is the strangest like request that you've gotten for a song?
Oh, the strangest. Thankfully it hasn't been anything. I think, and I brought it upon myself, I've really wanted people to get songs written for their dog. And more times than not, someone will be like, oh, my dog, blah, blah. I want a song for my dog. I haven't got like anything, strange. I have written a couple like first dances for weddings. I wrote like a custom song, which that was pretty rewarding, seeing like I got sent a video and that like, during a pretty tough time in my life, I had someone order a song for his wife for Christmas. He sent me a video of her hearing it for the first time, and she just like broke down, and that was a really like uplifting thing.
Awesome.
Like, so not so much strange, because I don't think anybody wants to, waste their money on just like throw away some weird song. Maybe they do. They haven't with me, but I've had some pretty special ones that have kind of hit home for me and made it worthwhile doing. Like, there's some.
That has to be pretty amazing. Like, I only know from, I haven't done any songs like that, but I've done vocal lessons for people. I'm currently working with a guy that just is surprising his daughter at her wedding, and he wants to sing her Happy Father-Daughter Dance.
Yeah.
So
that's going to be awesome.
Yeah, like, I can't wait to see the video. He's like, I can't wait to show you the video, and I'm like, dude, I can't wait. It's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
Like,
Absolutely.
on mic, and here's where I was doing this, and so I can't even imagine like writing the song with them and or for them and creating something like that, because that's
he's gotta sneak away for some karaoke nights, so that way those nerves don't hit him when he goes up.
Exactly.
There you go.
Yeah.
Exactly.
There you go. Do you record everything yourself, or do you?
Yeah. I write it and record it all at home. I am by no means like an engineer, and I do not call myself an engineer or like a mixer or mastering. So I have a guy, who I outsource to make sure it sounds polished. It's not just like, here's your, here's your bounce or whatever. Like, it's so that way it comes back legitimate and polished for them.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Have you ever been writing with somebody that wanted you to do something like this and just kind of hit on something, and just in your mind were like, man, I'm creating something awesome right now. Like, this is magic. Like,
yeah.
You've like wanted to sing it in like one of your own nights another time or something, just because you're like, damn, this.
Yeah. I took it too. I rewrote something else for them.
Nice.
I was writing something. I'm like, this is way too good. I'm like, have you seen you might have seen the TikTok of the guy like pretending he's the engineer for Phil Collins for the Tarzan movie?
No.
If you haven't seen that, so it's like he's like watching Phil Collins make. He's like, oh, this is real good. Hey, Phil. Hey, this is just for a movie about a monkey, right? And it's like, he's like, oh, this is. Oh wow, this is real good. And he's like going on and on. And that's how I felt when I was writing. I was like, oh, this is way too good for this. Not that I don't want them to be good, but I felt like I hit something special that I definitely put that aside for a rainy day.
That's cool.
I can only imagine. Like, that was the first thing I thought of when I saw that you do custom songs, because I've written stuff with other people where as I'm writing something with them, I'm like, oh man, I wish I was in this one. Like, this is really awesome. And I'm like, do something with this.
Yeah. Which is good to know. It's good to know that spark comes, because you don't get to decide when it happens. I can write, Thriller, I think there was like 180 songs written for Thriller before they came down to the 10. So it's like, you don't know when that spark happens,
Yeah. Changing gears a little bit for Emarosa. So you guys are now an official two-piece. Mm-hmm. How do you feel the songwriting process differs from when it was like a 5-piece, 6-piece? Like, do you find it better? Or how do you feel?
So it's different, because obviously when my first record with the band, which was Versus, and a lot of people don't understand this process. It's funny to me. The band wrote so many songs, and we went in and we recorded, I would say maybe 3 or 4 of the songs that we wrote together as a band got drastically reworked, and a lot of it was written with the producer.
Right.
And the record prior to that, before I was in the band, was with the same producer. The band's self-titled album, and the entire record was written with the producer. Like, he pretty much was like scrapped everything, and they rewrote the record with that producer. So Versus did the same thing. 131 went to a different producer. That also was written with the producer, in the studio. Lots of stuff just kind of happened. And 131 is a very special record, I think, as like alternative rock record. We definitely captured something cool in that world. And so that was really great to write like in that place. Peach Club was such a crazy transition because we wrote most of that record with Courtney, the producer who did that record. And I would say, I think, there was even a song that I wrote. Get Back Up from Peach Club. I wrote that with a different producer, like a hip hop producer who I do like a lot of my solo stuff with. I wrote that with him, and then we brought it to Courtney, and that turned into an Emarosa song. Cautious was something that Courtney and I just kind of wrote, and that ended up being the biggest song on the album. There's definitely band member influence that comes into it with on Peach Club, but it was very predominantly like Courtney and I kind of building blocks, and then everybody kind of jumps in. Yeah. And so even with this next record, it really didn't feel like a lot changed because we went to Courtney, and like that record, and E and I had been writing. I mean, E's been in the band. E is like the number one gun. He's been in the band since high school. So, and he's always been like lock and barrel by my side since day one. And so when we went in, it felt, I was definitely nervous at first, but once we started writing, I was like, oh, this feels great. Like, if anything, the only difference for me is that there wasn't anybody telling me no. There wasn't anybody saying like, hey, pull it back some, which happened a little bit on Peach Club. And so I did pull back a little bit, but there was, the gloves were off on this next record, and it didn't feel that different to me with writing. It's definitely changed over the course of, I don't know, I've been in Emarosa almost a decade. Right. Yeah. So over the course of 10 years, yeah, it's changed. If there's a band that hasn't changed in the last 10 years, I don't care about them.
Yeah, exactly.
So it was gradually it changed, but over the course of the past 5 years, it is pretty much what we are comfortable with as a band, ER and I. Yeah,
because I went from a band of 5 guys, 2 singers, like whole 9, and you go in and you're banging out chords, or you're like everybody's staring at each other like, oh, well, you got an idea, and then even if you come to them with a fully fleshed out song, it's always like, all right, well, no, like we'll do something else or something like that.
Sure.
So, I can imagine it like being a little bit less, I don't know, not confrontational, but like just less.
There's less hands in the pot. Yeah, there's a lot less hands in the pot, and honestly, ER has a guitar solo on like half the record now, so he's pumped. Like,
oh wow,
he got to really step up and do his thing, which I love, because to me, there's nothing like some ER guitar. But yeah, I'm very, very proud. And admittedly, I was nervous going in to make this record, but 2-3 days in, it was just started making itself. As cheesy as that sounds.
No, that's awesome.
No,
that's how it should be. You know what I mean? Like people don't understand if you haven't written songs or been in bands and things like that. But when you have, you start to kind of like those moments are few and far between. And when you have, it's like, oh, this is great. Like this is just happening. And when it's happening, there's nothing better. And when it's not happening, there's like nothing worse. But like when it's happening, it's like, this is the greatest thing in the world. And so that's awesome.
The pain of like just 5 people standing in a room, just like waiting for someone to do something. Like,
right.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it's like, it's just so much easier. It's so much easier with just E and I, and brought in a great saxophone player, brought in a killer bassist. Like the musicianship just skyrocketed. And not to take anything away from anybody. The pandemic was tough on a lot of people, and things change. But we're here with a phenomenal record.
Yeah, that's going to be really cool. I love for anybody who hasn't heard of Emarosa, if you're listening to this and you live under a rock, like it went from like a post-hardcore to, like you said, an alt rock, and then you hit Peach Club, and it was a complete departure. I remember I saw you guys. You were playing with Hands Like Houses. And,
oh, cool.
And it was I think it was just when Given Up had dropped.
Okay.
And you guys were playing like your normal set, and then all of a sudden you played Give It Up, and you had fucking dancers and a saxophone player, and I was like, this is amazing. What is happening right now? I'm at the opening act was this like sludge, like metal band,
right?
And then like this happened, and I was like, this is what I needed.
Yeah, it was. I remember that tour.
How does this record compare to Peach Club? Is it along those same lines?
I don't think it will be as abrupt of a change as like 131 to Peach Club was. Obviously, 131 was alternative rock, and Peach Club was more pop rock. Yeah. And I feel like this record is much more like alternative pop, and there's to me it feels like a more mature step forward, and it's not, Peach Club was very light and almost in a way cutesy and flamboyant and like in that way, and I think that this next record, and I'm trying so hard to make sure I don't give anything like too much away, like because to be honest, we don't, like, the album artwork isn't even like locked in yet, and like
Gotcha.
like all that stuff is still but when I see things, I'm like, oh, this just feels, it just feels much more mature, and it feels like the right step forward. But it's not, you're in that same world. Like we didn't go back to post-hardcore. We didn't turn into like a folk band. Like you're not getting, like we're doubling down on the transition forward.
I know that some listeners can find it shocking when a band changes their sound a little bit or tries new things.
Sure.
I know definitely for me, it's always like, as a writer, I've always wanted to, if I'm feeling something, I want to write that way. Or if I want to explore a sound, I want to explore that sound all the way and see how far I can push it, and see if I want to, like, where does my brain take this sound?
Yeah.
My influences and what I hear. And I think that's the fun part of songwriting and putting music out. So I love when I see a band that will put things out that it's like, oh man, they're doing what they fucking want to do. That's the best. Yeah,
but to an extent, you are the minority, right? Because a band essentially, like, a band essentially is a business. And if you look at like, if you look at McDonald's or Burger King, if they were to change their recipe or take, it completely, and you take a bite and you're like, this is not, you know what I mean? This is not McDonald's. This is not Burger King.
Let's still talk about McDonald's changing their fry oil.
Yeah, it's like McDonald's needs to change their name because this isn't what I remember McDonald's being. Right. Yeah. And it's like that, like, to an extent I understand. If you have, and there's still people that are like, oh, you guys should change your name. It's like, no.
That's starting from zero. I don't know.
It's because Peach Club was this band's most successful record, and I don't say that in a boastful way. I'm very proud of it, but Peach Club sent us into this different world of music, and so we were introduced to a completely different fan base and more people. Like, I love 131. I think it was a great rock record. But I feel like we did that and we were proud of it. Peach Club is great for what it was, and I feel proud of it. And ER is down for whatever we want to do, and so we try new things. Like, we are not beholden to, and it's like, it's crazy because I've been in this band 10 years, and most people, for some reason, just seems to be Ohio, can't get with the times, and it's like, come on, man, like, where's, like, and it's like, it's just not, that's not, those records are there for you, that old stuff is there for you,
Right.
but you have to you grow.
Yeah, I get that, and I mean, in one hand, and to that point, like, that's amazing to have been a part of something that touched people in such a way that they take such ownership in it is amazing. Like, as an artist, like, there's no better thing than that.
Yeah, you can't. It's not overlooked by any means.
Yeah, but then there's also that, like, if you liked me for making art, you gotta, give me a chance to make more art. You know what I mean? Like, let me keep doing it. So it's tough sometimes, and like you said, like, those records are there for you. They didn't go away. Like, whatever I do now doesn't take away what I did then. Like, it's still there. I'll still
it's like a painting.
Do that song live for you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, well, yeah, like, it's like a painting, right? Like, if there's this one unique piece of art that you have that's like, oh, this is so special. It's like, if you just keep making that same piece of art, well, now you're just a framed poster in Walmart. You're no longer like, it's not special anymore.
Right.
And so I didn't want to be Walmart. Like, I wanted to, like, what's the next one? And the next one. And I tell you what, if in a year, ER and I want to go make a post-hardcore record, we have no problem going back and making a post-hardcore record. If we feel like, hey, I feel like we could retouch on that and crush it. Like, or if we want to make a folk record, if we want to turn into the Head and the Heart, who fucking cares? Like, that's what we're going to do, And it's like, if you love this record, then just love that record. Then just love that record.
Right.
That's it. That's it. People are so, it's entitlement. People are so entitled to feeling like, because they love this, now you owe them something. Now you are beholden to them and their expectations. And that's just not the way that the world works. Like, I'm not going to make the same record over and over to make somebody feel better.
Right. Yeah. Do you think that's because a lot of people tend to talk like that's a new phenomenon, but it's like, if you look back, like, you remember when, like, Metallica made Reload, or you know what I mean, or like,
or Kiss,
the Black Album, or when Kiss took the makeup off, or like, any one of those things. Anybody that ever did something different, immediately there was a contingent of their fan
absolutely
base.
Look at Paramore. Look at Paramore.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Paramore got Bring Me the Horizon ripped apart.
Yeah, great example.
And now bigger than they ever were.
Right.
Bigger than they ever were. All those bands that you're talking about are bigger now than when they took that jump, all that backlash, they grew. Yeah. They grew. And it's like, hey, growth is painful, and you can roll with it, or
they needed to. Sometimes they needed to get there. Well, they all needed to get there, because again, if they don't, then you have the same contingent of people that are just like, they just keep putting out the same record over and over again.
Yeah, and I can't think of an artist that has continually put out the same record that is like, oh, they're still huge, or they're still doing it. Like, every artist takes risks and grows, and the people that don't take risks and don't grow, they have a hard time accepting that.
Yeah. I agree. I always point to the band U2 because I had a friend that's a huge, like, U2 fan, and then I have another friend that's a huge Bono hater. But I argue with them all the time just because I'm that guy that likes to make people argue. I was like, well, if you think about it, they've had the same members this entire time, and they've consistently put out, like, stellar, well done, successful records. So there's an argument that they're the greatest rock band of all time. And they're like, what did you just say? I'm like, I'm just saying that's an argument that they're the greatest rock band of all time.
I would agree that there's an argument there for sure.
You know?
It's so hard to know that, right? Because it's so there's no like, it's like new generations are going to say exactly
you know,
at this point, like people are like, look, I never in my, like, I will go down and say, like, I think that Michael Jackson is the greatest artist of all time. There are people 20 years younger than I am who are saying that, who will say that Kanye West is the greatest album or artist of all time, or the people say Fleetwood Mac, and it's just so different spectrums. There's never going to be one. It's Michael Jackson, but there's never other than that. There's never going to be one.
This is another thing we're going to be on the same side on.
Yeah.
I'll jump on the Michael Jackson bandwagon with you. 1,000%.
What's your favorite Michael Jackson song?
The Way You Make Me Feel pops into my head.
That's great.
I just love that groove. What's yours?
Stranger in Moscow.
Ooh.
It is never anybody's favorite, but it's my absolute favorite. Yeah.
He doesn't have a bad song.
Yeah.
He has bad songs.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I like anything. Sure, there's stuff I don't feel like listening to, but like
like
so
that.
Done,
Well, I mean, yeah. Did you know that Justin Timberlake's Justified album, his like first big album, was just like all songs from what I hear, it's just all songs that Michael Jackson was like, I don't want these.
Really?
What?
Yeah. Now, if you listen to the songs now and picture Michael singing, you can be like, oh, I can see how these were definitely written for him.
I definitely
think about that.
I definitely thought Justin Timberlake was like a love letter to Michael Jackson.
For sure.
His music, for
sure. Yeah.
That's
makes sense.
yeah.
Totally
it
makes sense.
It does totally make sense.
Oh man, could you imagine just like the type of artist and the acclaim that he's held to? Justin Timberlake made his solo career out of trashed songs by Michael Jackson.
Whatever. I would go dumpster diving in a heartbeat for old Michael Jackson songs.
Oh hell yeah!
I was gonna say, like, can you imagine just the ownership and pride you would take in writing a song that Michael Jackson at least listened to and then rejected?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he thought I was trash.
He said no, but he listened.
Mm-hmm.
He listened.
That's awesome.
We'll be right back.
All right, guys, we're going to take a quick time out. We want to tell you all about our awesome sponsor, Manscaped. Manscaped.com. We've been telling you about them since the beginning of the year. We've been users for years. But now they've put out the new Ultra Premium Collection. And what the Ultra Premium Collection includes is a 2-in-1 shampoo conditioner, a body wash, a hydrating body spray, deodorant, and lip balm. And what you do is you go to the shopping cart.
Yep.
You put all your things in there.
Yep.
And when you're done, you use the promo code BACONPOD, and you get 20% off and free shipping.
I'm going to stop for 1 second, and I'm just going to let you guys know that I've actually been using this stuff for the last 2 weeks. I got my order 2 weeks ago, and I've been using it every day. And so I'm just going to give you a super fast review. The shampoo conditioner is awesome. My hair feels great. It doesn't feel dry. It's not loaded down. It's not weighted down. And it actually feels really good. The body wash is awesome. It lathers up really great. I use a very little bit of it. I'm kind of like a sponge guy, so I'll put it on the sponge, loofah, or whatever you want to call it. And it's awesome. The surprise for me has been the body spray. Mm-hmm. It's really awesome. I never used anything like that before. I got it and I was like, what's this gonna do? I'll tell you what, as a person with tattoos, man, my arms feel dry every now and then. And sometimes for you that have tattoos, you understand that like when it gets dry, you start to feel like a raised up area for where your tattoo was. This actually, it smells great and it feels great and it keeps you hydrated. My hands, my arms, my tattoos, that's what I've really used it on. I haven't done the whole body or anything like that. I do use all the other products. I use the crop preserver. I use the foot spray at night. I don't use it during the day because it
the
might
Reviver
leave your
as
feet
well
wet.
for a midday spritz.
Yeah, 100%.
That is not included in this, but
the wipes are key.
you can
all
use
that stuff.
Oh, here we go. here we go. We got the wipes too.
Yep.
You can use all this stuff, and you can get 20% off on all of these things. And, of course, their flagship Lawnmower 4.0, which I was skeptical. I had the 3.0. They gave us a 4.0. I was like, how much better could it be?
It's better.
It's way better.
I've nicked my sack on the
0
3.0.
times.
And I've nicked my sack 0 times on the 4.0.
Right. So go ahead, go to manscaped.com, use the promo code BACONPOD, get 20% off, get free shipping, and support a really awesome brand that we believe in, and support the show a little bit.
It's really good, guys. I don't care. If it's not good, I'd tell you, because I don't care.
Right. So
It doesn't matter to me. But honestly, like, I'd use this stuff whether we had a discount or not. And I use our promo discount because that's what we have. So have the same discount that we do.
Indeed.
And go over to manscaped.com and use BaconPod as your discount.
Hey everyone, this is Kaylee Wolf, aka Callie Wolf, aka Kylie Wolf of Rivals, and you're here with Bacon is My Podcast, consuming it, eating it, being in it, wiping it on your body, and all that.
I remember watching, not to get off on a Michael Jackson tangent, but I remember watching the documentary that he was making about the Vegas show before he died, and just watching him go around and talk to the artists and like sing how he wanted the bass player to play the bass lines.
Yeah.
And like I'm just watching that and I'm just like, God damn, like everything he does. It was just amazing to me how just keyed in to what he was and what he wanted that sound to be and what he wanted to bring out. It's just amazing to me. It was just mind-blowing that someone just even could be on that level. And that,
You know, he couldn't play guitar.
yeah.
I did not
But
know
he could
that.
sing it.
Yeah, right.
I think he didn't know how to play an instrument, but he would boom 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 boom
Yeah.
boom 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 boom. It's
Well, if
great.
he could play instruments, he just would have been Prince.
Fair enough.
There you go. Good
Who I
point.
also love.
Yeah, it was
Love
awesome.
Prince.
Awesome. So you mentioned you're vegan, but you also used to love Cracker Barrel. What brought you to veganism?
Great question. I moved to LA roughly 5 or so years ago, and I had a roommate. She was this Australian vegan bodybuilder, and ended up she was having trouble making ends meet, and so a buddy of mine were like, "Hey, we'll pay for all the groceries if you meal prep," because we were working out a lot. Meal prep took a lot of time.
Right.
I was like, we'll buy all the groceries if you meal prep. And she's like, oh, that's a great idea. So she prepped for, probably 6 months, and she was vegan. So everything she prepped was vegan. So 6 months later, I'm like, wow, I feel amazing. I'm in great shape. Like, this is a no-brainer. And then I never went back. And I think it was the best way that I could have been introduced to it, because a lot of people try to force it on you, like, hey, you better do this, watch this video, you're a terrible person. And it's like, that's just not the way to approach anybody about it, because that's like, you don't want to attack them, you just want to inform them. And I was just passively aggressively informed, like, through food for 6 months. And I was like, I get it. I now get it.
Right. Well, if you're eating and you feel good and you like everything that you're eating, why mess with it?
Absolutely.
So did you do that? You did that switch like 5 years ago, you were saying?
Yeah.
Okay. So how was touring 5 years ago?
I am,
vegan?
so I'm very lucky. Now, if you would asked me how vegans did it 25 years ago, that would blow my mind. But 5 years ago, this day and age, there was still like, there's still options all over the place. I mean, it's very easy. When you're playing big cities, it's like, oh, there's a vegan spot here. Places have like, it's fairly new of like places have like the Impossible or Beyond Burger and stuff, but nowadays it's super easy. Even 5 years ago, you hit the grocery store, you pack up for a couple days of, just getting by. Sometimes it wasn't the best high quality food, but you got through it. I definitely remember some like, back before, like some Taco Bell type stuff. Like, it wasn't ideal, but you did the best that you could. I don't know how they did it back in the day, like touring musician, like punk. There's a lot of like vegan punk bands or whatever, like
Right.
touring back then in like, you know, in like Jeremy, Wisconsin, or wherever you're like. I have no idea how they did it. Like if they didn't have like a garden in the back of the van where they're just like, I don't know. Props to them because they, you know, they built a house that I can stay in now.
Do you have any like must go to spots when you're on the road that you look forward to?
Yeah, it depends. I mean, everybody knows, like, you know, there's this app called Happy Cow, and it will tell you all the vegan spots like that are all around you, like whatever, like with whatever radius. Kitchen 17 in Chicago has the best vegan pizza I've ever had in my life. If I could tell you every single place in LA, depending on what kind of cuisine you want, like I have got you down, no worries. Down in Costa Mesa, there's the best vegan sushi I've ever had. This place called Tama Sushi. I mean, it just depends. I obviously haven't toured in a while, so my memory's terrible. I'm a little rusty, but I know that the app will pull through once we get back on the road, hopefully next year.
Nice, very cool. So when you know, obviously you haven't made official plans, or maybe they are in place, but you're
sure.
You know, still too early to say anything. But like, what does an Emarosa set look like? Is it gonna be some of the old stuff? Or are you gonna go heavy on Peach Club and the new record?
I feel like, you know, because our Peach Club headliner that we did, there was a little bit of 131. We played all of Peach Club, right? And so, I mean, you've had years of, you know, maybe we'll, you know, I don't know what that looks like. It's definitely a lot of Peach Club. It's going to be a lot of new record. You're going to have, you know, I'm going to say you might have a little 131. Who knows? Maybe we'll throw some verses in there if something, you know, I don't know. But that's as far back as I will respectively go. When I joined the band, you know, and if anybody that doesn't know this and is new to the band, you know, before me there was a different singer, and for years we toured and I performed those songs out of respect for the fans that wanted to see those songs. You know, for probably I think 3 or 4 years we toured and I played those songs. Those songs have since been retired because, as you've seen, the band has grown and changed, and so now, you know, I don't think nothing versus to now is off the table, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Maybe I would love to. I wish there was a way, and I'm thinking this idea out as I go. But when you buy a ticket, you have access to a thing, and you get to pick like 15 songs. Like once you purchase your ticket,
You make set lists. That's
yeah, but you have to buy a ticket. So that way we don't just throw it on Twitter and some asshole from Ohio.
Right. Yeah,
I'm sorry, Ohio. But it's like, you know what I mean? You know, or like X, none of the above. Like, you know, I'm definitely going to look into that because I would love to, like, once you buy a ticket, you get to pick, and then the top 15 songs, that's what we play. Like, that's what you get,
awesome.
you know?
That's super cool.
There's got to be somebody that can build that.
It's got to be a thing.
Put it out in the universe. Put it out in the universe.
All right. Yeah.
Sweet. You were gonna say something?
No, go ahead.
Oh, okay. So yeah, you mentioned Chicago.
I did.
He lived outside
Yeah.
Chicago.
You said West Lafayette?
West Lafayette, yeah.
West Lafayette, yeah. Northern Indiana. Right by like Michigan City,
University area.
Blue Chip Casino.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
You know,
You kind of lived a little bit everywhere.
I did. It goes along. I was born in North Carolina because both my mom was military and my biological father was military. Then moved to San Francisco and lived in Honolulu. Then just outside of Nashville, moved to Indiana. That's where I went to high school. Then I joined the military. Moved to Houston, Texas for a little bit, then was a firefighter in St. Louis, moved to Detroit after I got out of the military, then ended up in Seattle, Los Angeles.
So a little bit everywhere.
A little bit everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
You've been in a lot of places.
Yeah, I did like the other side.
Okay.
I was born in Ohio.
Okay.
Actually.
I'm so sorry. One of my best friends is from Ohio, so
I left there very young. But yeah, like it was a lot of Midwest: Ohio, Indiana, Iowa,
Yeah.
Kansas. But then I
Yeah.
was in New Hampshire for a little while, and then I lived in Vegas for a little while, and came out to New York and all that kind of fun stuff.
Yeah.
It's like a grass is greener thing, isn't it? Like, because I wish I had friends that like, oh, I went to elementary school with this person and they're my friend now. And it's like, I have that. And I have one friend, you know, that I keep in touch with once a year from high school, but you have great experiences and you're a little cultured from like being around, but you don't have that, like that feeling.
You don't have the childhood friend from first grade and stuff. My
brothers
do, because they kind of stayed when they were born. It was everybody stopped moving when my brothers were born. But yeah, I feel the same thing. But then you have those friends, the ones that you do keep from like high school and stuff, are like they're like your crew. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're like your real deal.
Yeah.
You know, like, oh man, we take bullets for each other. Like that's those friends.
Yeah, for sure. You know that I'm not sure what it's called, but it's like where you revert back to. Like once you see those friends from high school, you revert back to who you were, like when you were in high school. Because whenever I see my best friend from high school, I just act like such a fucking idiot, and I'm like, yeah, this is us. This is
what happened.
Being the same humor starts coming out. It's the same jokes, and it's the same.
Yeah, and it's like I know it's not funny, but it's still
it's gonna
killing
work.
you.
It's gonna work right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel you exactly.
I've always lived in New York. I've always lived in Long Island, but I have one high school friend that I speak to. That's it. I mean, when I see like a smaller group outside of him, like we're still friends and joke around about the past and stuff like that.
Yeah.
In terms of people that I like talk to on a regular basis, one person from high school, nobody earlier.
Were you in bands in high school?
Yes.
Yeah. And I was also in a band in high school, so it's like my friend from high school is like my band. So I was already a misfit that found the weirdos. Now you didn't do that until later.
Yeah.
So like between those friends, what was your connection with them?
Between my high school friends?
Yeah. What was your guys?
I actually don't know. You know, you never know how you meet like your best friends, right? You don't remember like, my best friend. I just know we were best friends since middle school, maybe even middle school, high school, around there. And he's long since. I mean, he's married, has 2 kids, is in the military, retiring in like a year.
Wow,
blowing my mind. Because retiring in a year, and I'm like, all right, I think I got rent this month. So, fucking dick. Anyway,
musician, man. That's
yeah, I know.
That's our problem. We always bring it up. We don't do music because
we picked the heart choice.
Yeah, we don't pick music because it makes money. We pick music so we don't drive off bridges.
All of you wondering if you should do a career in music, if you're wondering if you should do a career in music, then you don't have to. Don't do it.
Yeah, you don't get to wonder. It's just like you just do it.
You're either in it because you have to, or you're or play in a cover band and get your 9 to 5 in.
Yeah, man, that is such the truth. It's crazy. But I wrestled in high school, and
Me too.
Of course. Is your mom's name Jody?
You son of a no!
Yeah. So I didn't really maintain a friendship with like many high school people, right after I went to the military. So I didn't keep up with any of them. I don't know what any of them are doing, and I've just always been on the move. Like this is the longest I've lived in one place, being in Los Angeles. Like this is the longest I've chosen to live in one place. Obviously, when you're a kid, you're not like, I'm leaving. But so, it's not like I don't have any one. They like my best friend, who was the drummer of like my first band in Detroit. He lives like 20 minutes away, and we're still like, we just went and saw Doctor Strange last week.
Nice.
And so, oh man, when he dies, it is the worst. I'm just kidding.
And this is
have you seen it, Jimmy?
I've seen it. Yeah.
He's seen it.
It's so good.
It is so good.
The thing is, people just rip on everything. Even Morbius, I was like, this is fine. And people like ripped on Morbius, and like I get it. I get there was some cheesy
Morbius
parts.
was as bad as everybody said, but when I saw
The internet,
I was like, wow, they really had too much time to cut this movie up.
I do think that I feel like I would have been a little more disappointed if everybody hadn't like brought it down so much, because I was expecting like a real slap in the face, and so maybe that was part of their marketing. They were just like, we need everyone to shit on this thing. We need everyone to shit on this thing right now.
I just feel like everyone's gonna shit on anything Jared Leto does for some reason.
No, I don't think it's Jared Leto.
And I think he's incredibly talented.
I think it's Sony creating a Spider-Verse.
I think Sony
without
too.
Spider-Man.
People are gonna.
Yeah,
that's why people are shitting on it. They're like,
Venom's cool, man.
Yeah, I loved Venom.
Oh, Venom's great.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan. So are you big comic book guy?
I'm just a big Marvel like
movie.
The whole MC. Yeah, I'm not. I never got into the comics. I'm not opposed to them at all. It's just like now that I've seen everything, I feel like the comics would just be so overwhelming for me to try to dive in and like catch up.
Yeah.
And so I enjoy just being like my best friend. He's got a whole Marvel like leg that he's working on, like tattoo.
Yeah.
And he just got this huge. Well, he got a mini Ant-Man riding on a bee,
that's cool.
which is really cool. And then the big piece he did, I can't remember if it's Jean Grey or if he went with the witch. I can't remember off the top of my head now. But anyway, I'm a big fan. I love like Moon Knight. I watched all like the What Ifs on Disney Plus. Like,
so good. What if?
Like. Huge.
I got my superhero arm as well.
Nice.
I got Batman. I got Venom in here. I got Spider-Man and Deadpool.
That's dope.
I'm
yeah.
right in there. Love that shit.
Me too. I haven't finished it yet.
Oh,
When
he dies, it's really horrible.
Bring it around.
I love it. Yeah, fantastic.
Oh man, yeah. I haven't watched Moon Knight yet because I like to wait until they all like binge.
See them all at once.
It's getting ready to binge. And
Yeah.
the reason why I haven't seen Doctor Strange is because last week my wife and my daughter had COVID, so it's just it was like a whole shit show. And
Yeah,
then
of
we're gonna
course.
be traveling, and it was like, oh my god, I gotta make sure that I'm
Maybe
not.
we'll go tonight. Maybe we'll hit a late
Maybe
one.
we'll hit a late night little.
Isn't it like 9:30 there?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you'll have to hit like the 11.
Yeah, we can make that.
That's a
work.
good get.
We could do that. What we do have to do now is
we have
pay some
sponsors,
bills.
dude.
We got a sponsor.
sponsors, and you are the unwilling help that we're going to have in promoting our sponsors.
Dude, I am gonna be great at this.
You are going to be great at this. I already
So
know.
up here we have a little thing called Poddex. What Poddex is, it's for budding podcasters, people who don't have verbal diarrhea like we do, and what they are, they're decks of cards, 50 cards in each deck, and within each deck, in each card there is a question.
Oh, nice.
So weird.
Oh, I just fucked it up, man. It's because I don't have my table.
It's the table.
It's my
changes
table.
everything.
I need the table. So what we like to have our guests do is pick from one of the decks and then pick a random card from that deck. So the decks we have are the interview deck, the interview deck 2, episode deck, what the heck would you rather, and then there's our fun new decks here.
Okay, well, I'm going to go with the fun new deck.
Sweet what the fuck deck, which is MTV branded.
Love that.
Cool. And then how dare you, which has to be said that way. If you don't say it that way, we won't acknowledge you.
Yeah, I get that.
So yeah, Bradley, which one do you want to?
How do you want to
pick from?
Choose your poison.
Let's go with MTV sponsored What the Fuck deck.
All right, what the fuck it is.
Okay, I'm gonna.
So he's gonna shuffle, and while he shuffles, I'm gonna try to condense and just say, if you go to poddex.com, you can check out all these decks plus more. They always have new ones. They have some cool swag on there. They have T-shirts. They're the soft kind. They're not like the crunchy shit kind that you get out in front of the venue. They're the kind that's nice, the nice soft ones. All right. And
I like
if you
that.
decide to get from poddex.com, you can use the promo code BACON,
because everything is better with bacon.
and you get 10% off your entire order. And it helps the show.
Yeah, I love that. You need pod decks. You want to do a podcast, but you suck. You want to lose your virginity? Get pod decks. Open up a card. You suck at interviewing? Pod decks.
Yeah,
I like it.
I think we should use that for the promo.
I think so too.
We should.
I'm a big fan of JRVP, Anthony Jeselnik's podcast.
Nice. Yeah,
And
Anthony Jeselnik is one of my top 10.
He's my favorite comedian for sure.
He's so good. He's so good.
I've seen him a couple times here in LA because they go and test out new material.
Nice.
That's awesome.
It's always amazing.
I bet. Dude, he kills me.
Sweet. Let's fan these out here. And
I picked that one. That one.
This one, right?
That's the one.
All right, that's what I thought.
there we go.
All right, Bradley. If humans came with a warning label, what would yours say?
That's the greatest question ever.
Man, that is tough. That is a tough question.
Hey, man, we pull no punches here on Bacon and Podcast.
It's a warning sign. If I had a warning sign,
Yeah.
objects in mirror are closer than they appear. I don't know the answer to that. Give me a second. Pod decks. Here's the thing about pod decks. That's a great question. You never would have thought about that question without pod decks. Want to lose your virginity? Pod decks.
Poddex.
That's right. Well, actually, he used them at the bar.
I have used them at the bar.
As a bartender, they're great.
Yeah. You see
That's
people that look
fantastic.
like- you see people that look like they are struggling to have a conversation. You go, hey,
That's genius.
have some fun.
That's genius. Oh man, a warning label. You really had me self-reflect here. After a glass of
That's what it's all
tequila.
about. This is what we do. This is what we do here. We make you. I told you we were going to get to your nooks and crannies, man.
You did. You were clear on that.
In case of emergency.
This is so tough. Like, this is a question. I don't know. Great job, Poddex, for making me have such a thinker here.
Right. You don't think
man.
coming on Bacon is my podcast that you're going to have some introspection.
I was not. I knew I wasn't prepared. I knew that I wasn't
Real
prepared coming
soul-searching.
into this. Yeah, a warning sign. Man, can I be an asshole? I definitely can be an asshole, but I don't think that's a warning sign. Man.
That just comes along with being lead singer.
Right.
Yeah.
We're all singers.
That's what
here.
we do.
We're all lead singers.
Okay.
Here. We're all assholes.
Yeah. A warning sign. This is so tough. I'm going to use a lifeline.
All right. Sounds good. Who's our lifeline?
We're going to go ahead and we're going to call my grandma.
Okay.
We're going to say, actually, it might be too late. She might be in bed. she hasn't answered now.
Contents are hot.
Right.
Come on, Grandma. Don't make me.
Hello.
Hi, Grandma.
Hi.
I love you. I need some help.
Right.
Okay.
I'm in the middle of a podcast interview, and the question is, if I were to come with a warning label, what would that be?
Danger, he's hot.
Thanks, Grandma.
Oh, look at that.
Danger. Hot, hot, hot.
Danger, he's hot.
I appreciate you, Grandma. Thank you.
Love you.
Love
Bye.
you.
Grandma coming in with the good answer.
There we go.
I like it.
You heard it here, folks.
Gotta wear oven mitts when you touch Bradley.
Caution.
Gotta wear your oven gloves.
Oh man, that's one of my favorite moments on the show ever.
Absolutely, that's
sure.
gonna be
Happy 100.
Yeah.
That clip will be coming back in one of our future recap episodes. We do.
We don't even need the 7 questions. Just run Grandma's episode.
Just run Grandma's episode. There it is.
Yeah.
One question with Riley's grandma.
Yeah. So that wouldn't happen without Poddex. Thank you, Poddex, for coming through for us.
See, look at that. Poddex.com, 10% off, promo code BACON.
Yes.
Bacon. Everything's better with bacon.
Indeed.
For sure. Awesome. So, Bradley, before we head out here, tell us what do we have to look forward to in the world of Bradley Scott and Emarosa and all of the things.
And where can they find
Yeah.
it?
2022.
So the record's done. We will have a new record out. We've got a lot of singles coming. We're going to be pumping out a single every other month, as much as we can, just for the rest of the year. We are working on, getting back on the road when it feels safe, when we have all the pieces in order. But for right now, it's just going to be a lot of music, a lot of new music for the rest of the year. It's just going to come and come and come.
Awesome. And everybody can find that where?
So Spotify, Emarosa, Instagram, Emarosa, like Twitter, Emarosa. It's pretty, Emarosa, Emarosa. That's how you say it.
Nice. We're going to have links to everything, of course, in our show notes. And, dude, thank you so much for hanging out with us. This has been awesome. We appreciate it.
It's my pleasure. Thank you guys so much.
Yeah, this has been a good one. You're welcome back anytime.
Oh, thank you.
And everybody that's listening, just remember, every single day, got to ask yourself one question.
One super important question.
Yeah.
Do you remember
what
that
it
question
is?
was?
What is your bacon?
What is your bacon?
He's a keeper.
He might have a gnome coming.
Ooh.
No, thank you.
And that's the end of the show, right there. We did it.
Woo! 100th episode.
100th episode.
I thought this was going to self-destruct right in the middle.
In the bag. We have 20% left on my Mac, which is running our backdrop right now.
Yes.
Which, if you're listening to the audio, you can't see it anyway. But for some reason, we still feel this anxiety and urgency to hurry up before the backdrop goes black.
Yeah.
But if you're watching on StrangerhoodTV.com, you can actually check that out. And we might have actually be visual on Spotify at this point. I'm not sure.
Oh.
Maybe. We'll see. We'll see if we're there yet. But they are doing visual versions of the podcast now.
Well, I will have to.
We'll see if we're on that. I looked into it a little. We'll talk about it.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out. But anyway,
Thank
aside
you, Bradley,
from that, yeah,
for coming on to the
Thanks
show.
for coming on. It
Thanks
was a lot
for
of
being
fun.
on the 100th episode. Check out Emarosa.
Yeah.
Their new single, Preach, is out now. New record is on the way.
Find them live. They're going to be great.
Absolutely.
And where can they find you? They can
Me?
find him. They can find him live. They can find him on Spotify. Where can they find you?
Me? Well, you can find my band on Spotify.
You can.
And my solo project.
Something Heavy's on there. Me, my own self is on there.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can find those things on the social medias at Something Heavy Music and at Me My Own Self Mike, where is basically my personal thing. I put music stuff. I put my family. I put podcast things. That kind of stuff. And yeah, that's where you can find me. You can also find our music.
Yeah.
On Spotify.
You can.
And when I say our music, I mean literally us.
Yeah.
He and I, we write music under the moniker of
Under the
Bacon
guise.
is my passion.
Yes.
And check those out.
That's how all this started. That was first.
Yeah, that was first. That was before 100 episodes. There's 3 of those. There's 100 of these.
Right. That's weird.
Go figure. So definitely go check that out. Check out baconismypodcast.com, where you can get all the cool swag. You can get all of the gateways to all the fun things. Bacon is my podcast.
Yes.
And our sponsors. Jimmy, what about you?
You can find me, as always, at Jimmy G's Shoes on all the socials. You find pictures of my feet and pictures of my face. And stuff about the podcast, the stuff about my band. My band, Craving Strange, is at cravingstrange.net, where you can find literally links and arrows to everything to find all of our stuff. Grab some swag over there, too. We appreciate it. And, that's how you can find me. Stay in the conversation. Please, please, please. If you like the show, if you like Bacon is my podcast, let us know by jumping in the conversation on all the socials and use the hashtag What's Your Bacon, use the hashtag Bacon is my podcast, or hashtag Bacon is my pod. Any of those things, we'll see it, we'll check it out. Keep those 5-star reviews coming in. Stuff that we like and stuff that we dig, we're definitely we're gonna post. We're gonna put it out there. Send us in pictures of you sneaking gnomes into people's stuff. Send us in pictures of you wearing the swag. We'll post that on all our things. Thank you guys so much for being a part of this. 100 episodes is absolutely crazy. So thank you guys. The reason we do this is because it's fun to do, and it's fun to do for you. Yeah. So let us know what you like. Let us know what you don't. Let us know what you want, and we'll at least read it.
Yeah, absolutely. And in the meantime, what do you need to remember? For the 100th time. Well, probably more than
100. But yes, let's say
definitely for at least the 100th time.
For the 100th time at the least. Ask yourself every single day, and I mean this too, because if you do and you answer it,
what's your bacon?
You're gonna have a better day.
Oh,
what's your bacon?
You weren't ready yet.
I wasn't ready yet.
What's
your bacon? What's your bacon?
Oh.
What's your bacon?
Bye.
Well, peace.